If you've been following along with this series of videos, then we've been building this course. We've added an assignment, we have even built a test and added a test. And so now it's time for us to really think about grades and how those grades are organized and delivered in Blackboard. So this chapter is going to be a multi-part chapter where I'm going to focus on different aspects of grading. And so in this very first one, we just want to orient ourselves to the gradebook. And in subsequent videos, we're going to talk about how we add grades to the gradebook, how we manage the grade columns, how we organize the grades, and then how we grade student work, as well as calculate total grades in the classroom. So let's just start by orienting ourselves to the gradebook. There are really two grade sections in Blackboard, one for the students and one for you, the instructor. You constructed this My Grades tool for the students, and if I were to click on it, you would see grades as the students would see them, although to get a better idea of this, you would do a student preview. But I wanted to point this to you because this is telling you what grades we currently have in the gradebook, and their point values over here on the right, and then how many points you have out of that total point. So a student who has turned in or maybe done the Module 4 discussion will see a grade here out of 5 points. The total is something that we'll come back to in a later video, but you're going to designate a column in your gradebook as the exterior column, as that the column that the students will see when they're checking their grades. And yes, they can go in and look at all of these grades, but oftentimes they will go up to their gradebook. So I'm going to open up the grades here. There's a My Grades section. Now I'm in a couple of different faculty training courses, and there's some grades, so I'll show you what mine look like. So this would be, for instance, in this section that I'm in, this is the grade that I have that shows up. And you can see the details of that grade over here on the right, but this is the external grade. This is over here, this current grade. This is the external grades the students will see. And that's why we're going to end up designating a column in our gradebook as the external grade that the students will be able to see to get a rough idea of how they're doing in the course overall. But let's go back to the course, and we want to go to the section that you're going to be most interested in using, and that is the Grade Center for the faculty member. You're going to go to Course Management, and you're going to go down here to the Grade Center. And when I do the drop down arrow, I see a couple of different things. The Needs Grading area is going to be where you're going to grade submitted materials. Now there's nothing submitted in this course. I will be doing that for future videos, so we're going to leave this Needs Grading portion alone for now. You are going to want to know a lot about the full Grade Center. Now I want to also point out that you will have by default oftentimes some of these other links below, and the idea behind this is that you can click just on assignments and go to just the assignments in the Grade Center or just the tests. I'm going to show you quickly here in a moment how to remove those or to add other ones should you want to, but let's show you what it looks like. First, let's go to the full Grade Center. And so in this Grade Center, again, normally you would see all of your students listed. I've only added one student, myself as a previewer. And you can see the different columns. Here's the total column, and this little green check mark indicates this is the column that's the external grade I just talked about. This is the one that will show up as the overall grade for the student currently, and you can set that up in different ways as we will discuss in later videos. But you can see the various columns here, and these are columns of things that we've already made. And so we'll talk about adding grades, and one of those ways is to indirectly add grades by adding assignments. Anytime you add a discussion that's graded, or an assignment that's graded, or a quiz, or an exam, it will automatically add a column in your gradebook. And we'll talk later about how to organize this. So that is the full Grade Center. If I wanted to see just the assignments, anything that I've designated as an assignment, if I click on it, it'll just show me the assignment. So you can see over here, it's just showing you Module 4 assignment. I should say, in addition, if I just wanted to see the tests, it's going to show me the quiz and the exams that we've made. Okay, So that's shortcuts to those things. I don't find personally those to be very useful because I always like to go to the full grade center. If I want to remove this, the assignments and tests as a link, or add other ones, I can do that by going to Manage and to Smart Views. And so we're now working towards what our grade center is going to look like. We want to set up a few things to make it simpler. In this case, I can see the various things that I can currently isolate. I'm going to click off the Add as Favorite here on Assignments and Tests. I'm going to go ahead and then submit OK. And as I scroll down, you can see those are now gone. I'm also going to go into the Grade Center. I'm currently in the Grade Center. Actually, I better click on that. I'm going to go to the Grade Center, and there's a few things, other things I don't want to see. For instance, I don't really need to see their username, a student ID, or the last access, although I do use the last access a lot myself. And in fact, in this case, I'm going to leave that column, but I want to get rid of this availability as well. And I don't want to see those because they're just going to take up column space. Well, I can do that a number of different ways. I can use the drop-down arrow on the top of a column, and I can hide from instructor view. Basically, it'll get rid of it for me. So that's one way to do that. Another way to do multiple columns is go up into Manage and into Column Organization. Now, we're going to come back to this column organization a few times in later videos because this is an important one. I clicked on it, and then you can see all of the columns that I have currently. I can select the ones that I don't want to see. You can see that username. So it's a good thing to point out that if I wanted to get that back, it did not go away. I just hid it. If I wanted to show it again, I can click on this. You can see that it says hidden. I can click on it. I can either go at the top or the bottom, and I can show those selected columns, or I can hide those selected columns. Now, I can also do that for student ID and availability. I told you I wanted to get rid of those. I'm just going to hide those selected columns. So they get grayed out, as you can see. I'm going to hit Submit, and they are no longer, you no longer see them here in my organization or in my gradebook. So that's a good way of clearing things out that I don't want to see. There might be situations where you have a column in your gradebook for something for you to keep track of, but you don't want the students to see. We can also do that. We can hide a column from the students, but not you. Let's say that I don't want them to see the module discussion, but I don't want it to disappear out of my gradebook. So I can hide from the students currently, and it'll just put a little, the column didn't disappear. Instead, it'll put a black circle with a red slash through it, telling you that it's there, and you can see it, but your students can't see it. And so if I were to go to the My Grades section, let's actually do this to a couple of them. Let's hide this from the student. Sometimes I have to find it. Here we go. Hide from the students. If I go to the My Grades, you'll notice that those are not showing up in the My Grades section. So this is a good way of cleaning up their grade book as well, so they're not seeing a lot of extraneous things. One of the things that I like to do, for instance, is I like to hide future grades that we haven't gotten to yet. So if I'm in Module 1, I will tend to hide grades from Module 2 through 5 until we get to that. It kind of prevents them from getting overwhelmed with the grades that they're going to have to turn in the future. Okay, so that's a good way of organizing your gradebook. This is just meant to be initially to be an introduction to this. You're going to spend more time here in the full grading center, and you want to make this as simple as possible for you to navigate and for you to see what columns you are currently grading, and also to consider what the students are going to see. In later videos, I'm going to show you how to organize these columns more, how to separate columns into different groupings, as well as to visualize grades a little bit better. But that'll take a little bit more time, and we'll do that in a later video as part of this series. Alright, I hope you found that helpful, and I will talk to you in the next lecture.